Yellowfin! Great yellowfin tuna!
What up, Spearos? This footage is from a couple weeks back. We hit some Bluewater spots trying to find a late season Ono, hit some deep reef trying to find Cuberas. The visibility was absolutely insane, so we saw a bunch of good fish. Overall, had a great time, so check it out. Back in that blue water, super good visibility this day. I already see a practice Ono, so I throw my flasher at him, see what happens. He's on his way out, so not gonna chase him down. Threw the flasher one more time and look at him investigating it. I had my reef gun in hand, so couldn't take the longer shot. We start chumming and I have my blue water gun and I see another Cuban wahoo shows up. Even though the barracuda is not our target species, it's good to treat it like an important fish. And like I always preach, the barracudas count because you really need chum for the day. Just practice the fundamentals, treat it like a wahoo, go straight down in the chum line, level off, and wait for him to give you the perfect shot. This one decided to do exactly that, come in, turn broadside, classic shot. These real clear days too, it's good to glance at the surface in case any fish are coming because you can see such a long distance. Sometimes there's good stuff at the surface. Pretty good shot placement to secure chum. I was pretty generous with that cuda, chumming him up heavily to get some oil and fish smell and action in the water. This drop was insane because I was going down to pick up pieces of chum. We were towards the end of our drift and I dropped 2 big pieces down, so figured I'd go grab them so they didn't just go to waste. And as I was going down, you know, looking around, not seeing anything, start heading back up, just trying to scan and use my vision to cover a lot of ground because we had such good visibility. And so as I'm going up, I decide to take one quick glance down back at the chum before approaching the surface. And as I glance down, I see a dream fish. Based on the way he was moving, that was a very big tuna.
Yellowfin! Great yellowfin tuna! Tuna!
Unfortunately, that was the only time I saw those fish. You really need a lot of chum down in the water at their level if you want them to stick around. No wahoo or rainbow runners were showing up, so we decided to drift up onto the reef part, so a little bit shallower. The shark and some yellowtail snappers were destroying the chum, so I wanted to do a dive down, check out what's going on underneath. These yellowtail snappers, or colirubia, are a very skittish species, so you want to just sink down to them, let them eat the chum, and try your best not to spook it. This one here nearly gives me the shot, but turns away from that chum. Raising my gun just spooked him a little bit. I keep sinking down to approach the fish, try to get a shot off on him, and as I do this, I notice 2 monster silhouettes. In real life, it was a little easier to see that those were 2 giant Cuberas swimming over the sand. I had never seen 2 Cuberas that big swimming together like that, which was very cool. As you can see, this is a little goofy, the amount I'm doing with my hands, but I just really wanted to signal Girai to go down there and shoot him because I know he has the diving abilities to hit those depths.
There's a lot of fish down there. There's 2 giant Cuberas, tons of snappers. We need to go.
As you could tell, I was super fired up in that moment. Just seeing all those fish and knowing we had a chance at them was crazy. The Cubera that size is a dream fish for me, and it was very motivating to see them at those depths. You know, just want to keep practicing, getting better so that one day I can go down to their level and take one. Here, a whole bunch of horseye jacks came in, which is a decent sign. Always good to see life. This next drop, I could see the yellowtails again eating from the surface, so I head down, try to get to their level, hopefully get myself one. You'll notice I do quick glances up at the chum, see what's around, and then tuck my head down. Much easier to get to these depths if you have your chin tucked in close to the body, less drag and resistance in the water. I keep my head on a swivel, throw out a couple grunts in case a king mackerel or pelagic fish is coming by. Then I lock in on my target and pick the one that approaches me. Got a good headshot on that fish, just had to hold my big gun steady in one place and wait for him to give me the shot. Really good buddy work here from Girai. He's coming down to meet me, make sure I'm A-okay coming back up from the deeper drop. I give him the okay hand signal and he knows we're going to be fine. But it's very good to be checking because if I hit a big Cubera at that depth, I certainly would need help getting him up. Super excited to get that fish. Great eater coming from nearly 80 feet. The next drop I did, I let my flasher go and sink down randomly, see if anything explored it. Then I continue down to the depths and see what I see. As I'm sinking down, there's a massive Cubera and a big hogfish swimming over the sand. They were too deep for me to get on this dive, but again, very motivating, knowing the types of fish that are out there just at the deeper depths. This was my first time seeing a hogfish on the west side, and it was a stud.
There's a hogfish and a Cubera. There's a big hogfish and a Cubera at like 90 feet. Yeah.
Girai does a dive down here, but he didn't end up seeing those fish. I got a decent breathe up, so I threw the timer on this one, give you a sense of how long you're down there sometimes. Because I didn't see a specific fish I was going for, I just keep the chin tucked for a little bit longer, heading down just as deep as the float line will allow me pretty much. Here I open up to see if any fish are eating the chum so I can choose where to sink down. I notice a really nice mackerel staying pretty deep. I can tell it's not a king, it's actually a really big cero, and he's hanging out, investigating different pieces of chum, and as you can tell, my float line's maxed out. I try to keep going down, and you could see it on the side of my gun pulling me back. It was sort of frustrating because I felt I had a really good breath and was comfortable going all the way down to his level. I just was limited by my float line. It might have got tangled up by something at the surface because I believe it's a 100-foot float, but I couldn't make it past 90 feet. Nearly a 90-foot drop, but not quite deep enough for that fish. I tried to organize my float line a little bit more so it doesn't get caught up, and then I dropped that wahoo head so I can do another drop on it, see if anything comes in to investigate. I followed that wahoo head down, glanced around a bit, looking at the different pieces of chum, and I end up spotting a really good fish. It's a good sized king mackerel, pretty big, definitely would be happy to take him home. So I'm approaching it, try the squid hands a little bit, flashing him up with my hands as he goes from chum to chum. Takes a quick look at that piece, and I'm trying to just cut him off at an angle because with these bigger fish, they are skittish, but at the same time, they might approach you and give you that shot. Watching this back, I wish I had a longer breath hold. Maybe could have kept chasing him because it looks like he's stuck around in that chum for a while. Again, I'm freaking out, trying to tell the guys to drop down because there's a big fish in the area and they don't always hang out for so long, so you gotta just go.
King mackerel. Big king.
He was hanging out around 75 feet. All the fish were making us work on this day.
Tuna? Yellowfin?
I threw my spoon here, did a quick drop to check, and didn't see any tuna. So at this point we're pretty exhausted and ready to head to the shallows. We get to the shallows, the visibility is insane, and I have a crazy interaction with this sama. They're out of season, so I'm just approaching him to get some video, see how close I can get, and watch his behavior a bit. Usually in shallow water, a sama like this is very skittish, but he can sense my energy. I'm not trying to shoot him, so he's not super spooked. It's been very fun getting time in the water with these samas, not hunting them, and just practicing how close I can get for next season. Here I found a little Cubera on the reef. Gonna do a drop on him, see what happens. Cuberas are super skittish, even the little guys. Hopefully he grows up and ends up the same size as some of those monsters we saw earlier. Here we're making a drop on a nice lobster in a cave. Good to see the third person here. There's Girai, super relaxed on the bottom, just looking around, trying to get an angle on the bug. Here I really wanted to make sure he saw it, so I'm freaking out. Here she tries to escape, but I get my hands on it and realize that she's full of eggs, and we're able to release her right away, safely back to the bottom with no legs and no antennas broken, nothing damaged. End off the day, I do one final drop, just picking up some of this trash. A lot of trash was concentrated in one spot, so it looks like somebody just dumped their cans over the side of the boat. It's always good to remove some trash when you can, because during fishing and spearfishing, we lose a lot of stuff too, you know, whether it's a flasher that sinks to the bottom or fish you tore off. Little by little, poco a poco, maybe we can do a bit better and clean up the ocean. So that does it for this day. Stay tuned for the next video where I travel to a remote zone and secure a nice dog snapper finally.